What's up, the world? This is what time I have, and I came to speak, about last night's game on Nets because people are like going batshit crazy because there's like Kevin Durant scored 30 some points in like 20 some minutes or something. I don't know how many minutes he played. We didn't play last. I watched the game, but I didn't really pay attention to how long he played. But people gotta understand. Watching the Brooklyn Nets, and it's the same thing. Why I give people the side eye when they talk about James Harden scoring 50 points. I mean, scoring like 40 points or something like that in like 20 straight games, and Kyrie Irving is now scoring 40 points, and it's like it's like you remember when the spread option was big, not spread option, but the spread in college when it was like that option quarterback. So you have a guy like Ben Young who would throw for 300 and run for another 200, but he'd do it against like Valdosta State. You'd be kind of looking like, come on, like it's not really the same thing because they run that speed option. They have way more plays than normal, so his yards gonna be way inflated because they run so many offensive plays. It's the same thing when it goes when in reference to the way the Brooklyn Nets play. I'm never surprised at how many points they put up, right? Because I saw you can go look a couple games ago, and Jeff Green didn't play that many minutes, and he had like 28 points. So it's really just it's just a system that basically relies on you running up and down the court full speed. And if a team wants to trade baskets with you, it can get ugly. And that's exactly what the Suns tried to do, which I thought was incredibly stupid. You know what I'm saying? You got Chris Paul, let him slow the game down. Yeah, when they was doing that, they jumped out. They were winning. It wasn't until they tried to keep running with him. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, they play all bad defense, and then it becomes a pissing contest where you're trying to score as many points as they do. And so in the end, they're gonna win because their system is predicated on them getting out and running, because they can win more times than not, in one-on-one if you don't have the right people. Two, DeAndre Ayton got into foul trouble, really, and the refs were really eating their whistles. Like, they didn't call crap on Brooklyn last night. Like, I literally saw one time where Blake Griffin literally jumped in the air and literally knocked the dude out of the air. He's laying on the ground like, what the hell? And the referee just kept going. So, you know what I'm saying? So, my mindset was the referees, maybe it was betting, I don't know. But, with a lot of people probably bet on the Suns because of, they've been winning, they've been playing well, and then the Nets have not been playing well. So your mindset kind of gets the mindset that, maybe that's why they did it, because most people probably were going to bet on the Suns. I don't know what the situation is, but I think betting is the most important thing in NBA basketball. I mean, it's almost disgusting. If you watch betting and you watch basketball, it's the most disgusting shit in the world. You clearly can see that gambling controls the NBA. Like, anytime there's like a huge, like, not a huge, but like, I guess the word would be like clear cut winner, they always lose. Because when it's so close like that, they know that they can make more money by betting on the loser. And then the referees to fix it, and they'll call anything. All of a sudden, you're like, what in the world is this? Watch. If you pay attention, if you want to understand basketball, whenever there's a clear-cut win, when it's like you'll see, you know it's weird, because they'll give it'll be like the Suns, but they'll give the Nets like a negative 2.5. So they know the majority of people are going to bet on the Suns, because that's pretty much a stretch. That's pretty much a square bet, because I mean, most games are decided by 2 points. So you know what I'm saying. So you're gonna pick the Nets, but the problem with doing, you're gonna pick the Suns. I meant to say, because you figure they're gonna win, and they're probably is comfortable enough to win by at least 2 points, and it never works out that way. Next thing you know, you end up watching the Nets, and they end up they end up winning. They end up losing because all of a sudden the referees start eating their whistles. They don't call anything for the Nets, and they call everything for the Brooklyn. And when it's like that, I mean, it can get very, 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 very lopsided very quick. Because if I'm going inside and I'm getting fouled, I'm probably not going to finish a lot of those shots, and I'm not going to get the 2 points from the foul shot. But if you're calling everything ticky-tack on the other end, then it's going to get out of control quick, because I can't. At some point, I realized I'm not getting the calls, so I'm gonna shoot more jump shots, and I'm not gonna attack the paint as much. And if I have a big man, he's more than likely gonna contest a lot of shots. And if you're calling everything for Brooklyn, next thing you know, my big man is gone. So it to me, that's the biggest story about that last night. I didn't like watching that game. It was such the defense was so terrible in that game. Like watching it literally looked like watching an open gym. Like it just looked terrible. I mean, defense was non-existent. They just running down, trading shots, and it just wasn't. And the next morning, what makes it so disgusting is, you're supposed to be playing basketball the right way, and instead of someone coming on last night and commenting, like, if they ended that game 50-60, they would be on there the next day not talking about how great the defenses was. They would be talking about how terrible the offenses was. But it's like it's offensively driven. So now everybody's talking about the fact that the Brooklyn Nets, KD and Kyrie scored this much, and nobody's pointing out the fact that they play terrible defense again. So, not Kyrie specifically. I think Kyrie is becoming a very, very good defender. But the rest of that team, I mean, clearly they understood DeAndre Ayton just attacked Kevin Durant the entire time. Because you just put him in a block. I mean, on the perimeter, he's a great defender. In the block, he's just not big enough. So he can bang all you want. That's why you can pretty much face him with Chris Paul was keeping Kevin Durant out. Now Kevin Durant can shoot over anybody, but he can't go through many people. So that's his big problem. He had a great game last night. But defensively he had a terrible game last night. But nobody remembers that. And that's the problem, and that's the entire problem with the NBA. It's like everybody focuses on the points. Nobody focuses on the defense. And the thing that makes it so annoying is the problems that the Nets have. The Suns are not going to be the Achilles heel to that, right? The defensive anchor is Chris Paul. He's short and limited in that capacity, that he's short and can shoot over him, and he's their best defender. DeAndre Ayton is a okay defender, but he's still very young and he's very green. So you could get him like they were doing a lot of times on these pick and rolls, because he's just not that. He's very young. He's very anxious. Like he bites on a lot. So it's easy to get him. And the Suns really don't have that lockdown defender. I mean, Book is a so-so defender to so-so to below average defender. So, they can play well with Chris Paul, but it's only so much Chris Paul can do. So it's not like playing the 76ers, the Bucks, or the Lakers, you know what I'm saying, who have like really good defensive big men, really good perimeter defenders. You know what I mean? It's not that type of situation. So I know the media is gonna, put way more into this than deserved, because they have to sell a product, and I understand that. But all day you're gonna hear about how Kevin Durant scored 30 points, and how Kevin Durant is this, and how Kevin Durant is that, and how Kyrie Irving and the Brooklyn Nets are the greatest thing since sliced bread. Even though they gave up, the Suns got every shot they wanted, anytime they wanted it. They know how to play defense when it matters. Okay, Talk to me in the playoffs, because I can guarantee you they don't know how to play defense when the defense matters. Because either you know how to play defense or you don't. You don't know how to play defense when you need to. No, you just rely on people to miss shots. And when you're a good team and you're playing a team on short notice, then you're going to get the upper hand, because they're not used to playing your defense. They're going to be running up and down, and then all of a sudden you're going to switch up lineup and put the small lineup in, and it's going to be real hard for a team to just keep running with you because they're used to the other way. But you think just as easily as they gave up 120 points anytime somebody breathes, every time they step on the court, you know you getting at least 120 points on that team. And I'm sorry, you cannot have any bad shot, right? And they keep saying, well, you know, this is them without Harden. I hate when people don't understand. Interjecting a person who is ball dominant into an offense with two other guys that are ball dominant does not mean he's going to add. He's going to either take away from what they're getting from everybody else, or he's going to take away from what he's getting away from his two other all-stars. One of those, something got to give, right? Because because you can look at the fact that their average does not change. Their points that they score do not change, whether it's all three of them, two of them, or one of them. They score the same amount of points every game, because most of the time it's the system. As long as they run the system, most of the time they're going to score around 120, 125 points. That's just what the Nets do. And that's like I said, that doesn't even matter if none of them play. You know what I mean? I mean that the other week against the 76ers, Kyrie Irving sat out damn near the whole second half, and they still almost scored 120 points, because it's the system. So the whole mindset that they're doing this without Harden, so you can imagine when they go. I hate that's the same thing I used to get in an argument with people when Kyrie Irving was hurt on the Celtics, and they were like, "Oh, well, you know, I mean, we did this and we didn't even have Hayward or Kyrie." I said, "What do you think is gonna happen when Hayward and Kyrie come back? They're gonna take shots from the guys who were scoring. So Terry Rozier is not gonna be Terry Rozier with Kyrie Irving. Jaylen Brown is not gonna be Jaylen Brown with Hayward. One of them is going to have to take a back seat, or Gordon Hayward's going to have to take a back seat. Either way, you're not getting all of them. But nobody thinks about that critically. They all keep thinking, oh, well, when Harden come back, it's going to be over. Okay, that's fine. Harden going to get his assist, right? But it's also, when you're doing that, it also takes away from your own shot. And Kyrie Irving right now is shooting damn near every time he touches the ball. That helps when your shot is on. Does not help as well when your shot goes off and you have to try to make those shots. So as I said before, the Nets have the firepower to beat anybody on any day at any given time. But when you're playing a defense that is a good defense, like the 76ers have, okay, now we talking a completely different game, because your shot's not going to be there. And it's going to be harder for you to score your 120 points. But on the other end, you're still a terrible defense. So they're going to score. They're a prolific offense. They can score. You can't defend. So at the end of the day, they can match you scoring and slow you down. I mean, they can match your scoring, yet slow you down on the defensive side to the point that their scoring is going to be the factor in the situation. The Lakers can do that with AD, LeBron, and Drummond. I mean, Drummond to a lesser extent, but with AD and LeBron. And then, speaking of which, this is what I try to tell people. You know what I'm saying? People want you to tell them what they want to hear. They don't want to ever actually have you analyze what you said. I told people, Drummond's all right. Defensively, he all right. I said, but Drummond is not an all-star. I mean, Drummond is not no super team. Now you see, AD's back, and Drummond is still Drummond. He's just very limited. And I said that, and people thought I was hating on Drummond. Oh, you saying Drummond? No, Drummond's not. I never said Drummond was garbage. I said Drummond is very limited. When he plays a defender who can keep him from around the rim, he struggles. Because he really has no shot, and he relies heavily and on the perimeter. He's not that great of a defender. He's plotty. So it annoys me when I tell people stuff, and everybody, I think it's just our culture. Everybody's always looking for underlying hate to everything. It's like hate. It's just completely telling the truth. Andre Drummond has not alleviated a single bit of the double teams off of Anthony Davis. They swarm Anthony Davis every time he gets the ball because they know they ain't worried about no Anthony Drummond, especially not without LeBron. Now, when LeBron gets in, it'll be a completely different story because LeBron can see the entire field. But Dennis Schroeder is short. If they face him, put their hands up, he can't find Drummond. He can't throw over. And he can't take in people. They don't have to respect him like they would have to respect LeBron. Because LeBron, you cannot get up in his face. LeBron's too big. He's too fast. If you try to get up in LeBron's face, LeBron gonna get around you and put that body on you, and you screwed. You gonna have to, and you're not stopping him. You're not gonna be able to, unless you completely flagrant him. You're not gonna stop him from getting to the rim, and you damn sure ain't gonna stop him from laying the ball up. So you have to give so much attention to LeBron that it leaves more thing. And LeBron's such a smart player, and he's gonna put Andre Drummond in positions where that back screen is working. Dennis Schroeder's not LeBron. You know what I'm saying? He's great, but he's not gonna be able to do what LeBron can do with Drummond. That's why I said LeBron can utilize Drummond. But Anthony Davis can't. Anthony Davis is not LeBron. You know what I'm saying? He's a great passer, but he's more of a he's a 3-level player. He can shoot the 3, but mostly he's a 2-level. He's elite 2-level player, meaning post and mid range. Now 3, he's serviceable. He's average, but he's not. You're not going to rely on Anthony Davis to hit 7 threes. You know, so it's not going to really stretch anything without LeBron there to actually, orchestrate everything. Now you're going to have Drummond just kind of out. He has to move for Anthony Davis to be more he has to be moved for Anthony Davis to be more effective. But the problem with that is when you take Andre Drummond and he's not like you can't put him out at the 3 to clear ISO with Anthony Davis, because they're just gonna come off of Andre Drummond in the corner or out at the block, and then they're just gonna swarm Anthony Davis and just force him to get rid of the ball. And that's exactly what they've been doing. So all these people were trying to tell me, it was trying to argue that Andre Drummond, after that game against the Nets, that Andre Drummond somehow showed himself to be better than LaMarcus Aldridge. I was saying that there. He's very limited. He'll have games where he does great, but he'll have games where he gets played off the court because of his limitations. But when you put him in there with LeBron can make up for the limitations. LeBron can do so many things that he can make up for those limitations, and he can utilize. That's why he gets the best out of everybody he plays, because he can play. He can change into whatever you need him to be, so that person can still be the player. Yeah, Anthony Davis is not like that. Anthony Davis is an offensive threat and a defensive beast, right? So he's more of a 1v1 player. He's not so much a, Anthony Davis is not gonna be passing for 10 assists. He's not Giannis. So I think there's an understanding that needs to be there. People need to pump their brakes on this, because I told people Andre Drummond was going to be Andre Drummond. Now people are trying to come out at the man saying, well, he's been a disappointment. He's not been a disappointment. This is Andre Drummond. What do you think he's going to do? He's not going to be out. He's going to be in there, scoring 20-some points a game. That's just not who Andre Drummond ever was. You know what I'm saying? He's going to give you what he's going to give you. Now, when LeBron comes in, like I said, we can reevaluate things. But I told people that before. Like, he's a rim runner. He has a Shaq feel to him, but he is not, he is not, if you expect him to be coming in there and it's going to be a big 3, I'm sorry, that's just not going to happen. That's not who Andre Drummond is. He can, now, defensively, yeah, it's a big 3. You know what I'm saying? Rim protecting, rebounding, it's a huge 3. You know what I'm saying? So he's a huge addition, great addition to the Lakers. But yeah, you're not. If you out there expecting this man to be scoring 30-some points a game, you are kidding yourself. So please, comment. Let me know what you think, and subscribe. All right, y'all. Peace.